Coming up on Network Africa, Vice President of Nigeria, Osinbajo, visits scene of Sunday's deadly attack on a church in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria. Egypt to provide 30 million COVID-19 vaccines to African states. Plus, Mali expresses disappointment at the decision of ECOWAS to maintain sanctions on the country. Hello and welcome to the program this week. I'm Layo Olarinde. We begin here in Nigeria, where the Vice President, Professor Osinbajo, has visited Owo in the aftermath of the shooting at St. Francis Catholic Church. He was taken round the scene of the attack by Governor Rotimi Akeredolu and clergy of the church, where many people lost their lives on Sunday morning in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria. According to the Vice President, those behind the attack are not Nigerians. He says there's no excuse for such an attack and vows on behalf of the government that the perpetrators will be dealt with. Well, a day after the hideous killing of over 30 persons in a Catholic church in Owo, Ondo State, residents of the street where the church is located are mourning. Although there's some level of calmness around the town, security agents are on ground as deployed by the State Police Command to beef up security in the area. Meanwhile, leaders of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Owo local government area have been staging a peaceful protest after a prayer session within the church premises, seeking for God's intervention.
It's the day after the shooting at St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo, Ondo State. Residents are out on the streets close to the church, dumbfounded about the horrific events of the previous day. The perpetrators broke the peace of an otherwise peaceful Owo kingdom as the people mourned their dead. No one saw this coming, not even the governor of the state, Rotimi Akeredolu, who cut short his trip to Abuja for the APC convention to visit the scene. He says nothing can compare to the level of this attack.
What you have in America is a child's play to what happens there. From information from the security agencies, these are the most dastardly act that can never happen in any society.
Although there's some level of calm around the town, security has been beefed up in the area to give the people a sense of reassurance of their safety. Meanwhile, leaders of the Christian Association of Nigeria in our local government area have been staging a peaceful protest after a prayer session within the church premises, seeking for God's intervention.
This incessant attack, most especially to the Church of God, to the Christian body, the peaceful communities in our nation, it should not continue. And we are peace-loving religious group, and because of our disposition, I think they are taking us for granted. We want the international community to come in and wade in before it goes out of hand.
Inside the church, there are telltale signs of the shooting that led to the death of men, women, the elderly, and children.
I heard, I would say, noise, like loud noise. Within me, I was even thinking maybe somebody fell, maybe, a kind of commotion behind. So it was when I looked from the altar, then I saw from the sanctuary, I saw one of us. And then who could have seen from inside the church? Yes, and so he quickly locked the door. And so from that moment, locking the door, then the message got to me on the sanctuary that unknown gunmen, like armed, they are around.
I was in the church. I just heard a gunshot along the gate. Then I came out. I stood here. And I saw the man came in with face cap, long, like he's taller than me, with gun. The man now shoot gun beside where I did. They don't not come to me. Maybe Christ cover if he didn't see me. I'm looking at him. He now shoot another one. I said, who is this foolish man shooting gun here? He repeated another one and now fall inside. And I locked that. I tell my people, things don't change you. For me to open my eyes through this window here to penetrate, I thought the man was part the other side. And I enter through the other door. As he enter, I was looking, I was still shooting.
Also commiserating with the Catholic Church is the chief imam of our kingdom, who prays for peace.
How can you imagine somebody dressing properly, they coming to church to worship Almighty Allah, to worship God, and then meet its Waterloo? This is very, very unprecedented. I never expected this. I know one thing for sure. God never sleeps. The perpetrators of this dastard action will be caught. God will expose them.
Preliminary investigation reveals that the assailants approached the church as the service was about to end and began shooting from outside the church, while others, numbering about 4, shot directly into the church. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police has ordered forensic investigation into the attack to ascertain the actual or remote causes and for immediate arrest of the assailants.
Well, some of the injured people from the church attack in Owo have been speaking of their ordeal, many of them on hospital beds in bandages, visibly shaken by what they have been through. The medical doctors say the victims they have suffered is on a wide range.
We've been doing our best to resuscitate and make sure that their injuries are not worsened by in any way. A number of them have gone to theater also to have surgery done. So we're just on it and hope that God helps us to help as many as possible.
The number we had that yesterday was 39. There's 26 adults and 13 children. Out of the adults, they brought 6 of them dead already, and children 2 were dead before they brought them. The remaining ones, we are managing them. Those that needed to be operated on was operated on yesterday. They were operated on yesterday, and they are doing fine.
Let's discuss this further, the security situation in the country. Joining us now is Vince Onyekwelu, a national security risk strategist. He joins us virtually from Anambra State. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to us on the program.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, this is the first of such attacks in the southwest. What or who do you think was behind it, and what do you think was the reason?
Obviously, I believe if I heard you right during your introduction, I think the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria actually told us who are the suspects. If I heard you right, you said that the Vice President mentioned that the suspects were non-Nigerians. I repeat, I believe I heard that the Vice President of Nigeria mentioned that the criminals, the culprits, or the suspects were non-Nigerians. So if you ask me who I suspect the criminals are, I think Mr. Vice President has just told us that they are non-Nigerians. So obviously, if the Vice President has such information that these were non-Nigerians, I think we are on the right direction when you're talking about investigative journalism here. We have to ask further, how did the Vice President of Nigeria knew that these people were non-Nigerians? And I think if they are non-Nigerians, we have to also ask the military of Nigeria, what are they doing to secure our national territory? because we have our borders with Chad Republic, with all those foreign nations around us. How secured are our international borders that would allow criminals to come all the way into Nigeria, travel all the way down to Ondo, that is virtually in the location it is in Nigeria. If you know Owo very well, an easy entrance into Owo could be from Kogi State, because Kogi State has a boundary line between Kogi and Ondo State. And before you get to Akure, the capital of Ondo State, you have to pass through Owo. So obviously, these people may or could have come in from that axis, although there are other axes. And also, being somebody who has been to Owo in my career, Owo is a well-planned city in Ondo State. Owo is one of those states that have very clear-cut roadmaps with so many roundabouts, so many intersections where you have to be turn through a small roundabout and then continue on your journey, or intersect left or intersect right. So I would have suspected or thought that such a beautiful city with a wonderful governor, they could have gone an extra mile to install CCTV cameras in those kind of wonderful road networks they have in War. The same thing with Akure, the capital city of Ondo State. If there were cameras on some parts of that road, it could have given us indication on the kind of vehicle these criminals came with, the color of the vehicle, the make of the vehicle. So the security agencies can even understand what and who they are looking for. Although the vice president said that they are non-Nigerians, so I think he has more information. And being a politician, many of us will say that he should know better. And I think, looking at the structure of security in Nigeria, unknown gunmen has surprisingly arrived in the southwest of Nigeria. For the past couple of years, the southwest has been relatively safe and secured in Nigeria. We in the southeast have our challenges. Those in the north central have had their challenges. Those in the northwest or in the northeast have had numerous challenges, even those in the south. But the southwest has been relatively safe. We in the southeast began to know about unknown gunmen in the last couple of years. But it seems that unknown gunmen has now arrived in the southwest, and it's worrying. It's dangerous, and it's a shame that nobody knew who they are.
Indeed, Mr. Vince. Well, as investigations, begin into this attack, what would forensic now be looking for to help determine the perpetrators and also to bring them to book?
If they would listen, the first thing, you heard somebody, many people said there was a bomb, that there was a bomb explosion or bomb explosions. Now, there are different types of bombs. Now, if it's an IED, an improvised explosive device, for example, there are different types. So you have an IED that we call person bone IED. So a person bone IED is a kind of IED that somebody will wear inside their body, then cover with a cloth. So we call it a person bone improvised electronic device. We also have a vehicular bone improvised electronic device. That's when you mount such IEDs inside a vehicle so it can trigger and explode. We also have location bone IED. That is when the IED is hidden in a dustbin pan or in the flower bed of a location. But most dangerously, based on the information I personally got from Owo, none of these, because there was no burnt up vehicle, there was no human being with scattered body parts. So you cannot say that it was a vehicular bone IED. You cannot say it was a person bone IED. You can also not say it's a location bone IED. But I'm suspecting that it could be grenades, that grenades could have been used. So you pull the pin from a grenade, you toss the grenade, and it explodes. And in that explosion, people will start to run helter-skelter. But as a security consultant, let me warn Nigerians, if you are in a situation where a bomb explodes in a public place, in a market, in an office, please do not start running. What you need to do is go down flat, lie on your stomach. That way you stay away from debris, from the bomb, or from a vehicular bone explosive device, or anything flying over your head. Lie flat. If you can get what we call a hard shoulder, it could be a concrete wall, go and lie next to a concrete wall, stay away from a vehicle. But if you don't have an option, you can lie down next to a vehicle, but it's dangerous. Get a solid surface like a concrete wall, lie down. Do not run. Running will lead to stampede. Children will get stampeded upon, they will die. And finally, these criminals came with AK-47s. So when the bombs exploded, people started running, they started firing.
Shooting.
We need to lie low, keep low, and then keep calm so you know what direction you need to run to or run away from. But if you panic and you start running, you can even be running towards the criminals themselves, you can be running towards the terrorists themselves, but it's a warning sign. In conclusion, some weeks ago, we had the accident in Texas.
Mr. Vince Onyekwelu, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I would have to, cut you short there. We are running out of time. But a lot has been said, and we really appreciate your insights and analysis on this. Mr. Vince Onyekwelu is a national security risk strategist. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, still ahead on Network Africa, the Congolese people are hoping for an apology ahead of the Belgian royal visit. More details in a moment. Welcome back to the program. Mali has expressed its disappointment at the decision by the West African Regional Group ECOWAS to maintain crippling economic sanctions on the Sahel country. Foreign Minister Abdoulaye Diop says that he hoped ECOWAS will revisit the issue at its summit next month. ECOWAS deferred its decision on proposed transitional periods in Mali, Guinea and Burkina Faso to the 3rd of July after its summits of heads of state in Accra, Ghana on Saturday. The leaders are reported to have differed over the proposed transitional periods in the three countries, that the traditional consensus was not reached between states over the 24 months of transition proposed by the Malian junta. Or regarding Burkina Faso, ECOWAS leaders rejected a proposed 36-month transition, which they have considered too long. The body also appointed former Niger President Mahamadou Issoufou as a mediator for Burkina Faso. ECOWAS also rejected a 36-month proposed transition in Guinea and gave the country 1 month to review its timetable. Staying with Mali, UN spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric reports that 2 UN peacekeepers have been killed in the country. They were killed after their vehicle, an armored personnel carrier, hit an improvised explosive device just outside the town of Douentza in the Mopti region. However, 2 other peacekeepers were injured in the attack.
Unfortunately, I have to report that 2 of our peacekeeping colleagues were killed this morning in Mali after their vehicle, an armored personnel carrier, was hit by an improvised explosive device. This happened outside of the town of Douentza in the Mopti region. 2 other peacekeepers were injured in the attack. Our colleagues have managed to secure the area. We're trying to get a bit more detail. This is the 6th incident in which a convoy, a UN peacekeeping convoy, was hit since May 22nd. It is the 2nd fatal attack on a UN peacekeeping convoy in just this week. The Secretary General condemns this new attack on our peacekeepers, who, as you know, are just fulfilling the mandate in Mali given to them by the Security Council in extremely challenging conditions. The head of the UN mission in Mali, El Ghassim Mouane, also condemned this new attack. He also condemned the attack in the Kayes region earlier this week, in which 2 members of the Malian Red Cross were killed.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has made a robust defense of his integrity after he was accused of being involved in kidnapping and bribery. Last week, a former spy chief, Arthur Fraser, said the case related to the alleged attempted theft of $4 million in 2020 at one of the president's properties and the alleged efforts to conceal what happened. The president then confirmed that there was a robbery at his farm in Limpopo in which proceeds from the sale of game were stolen. But then questions were raised as to why he had that sum in cash. Talking to his supporters at the weekend, Mr. Ramaphosa explained that as a farmer, he frequently bought and sold cattle and people often paid in cash. In addition, he denied that the amount stolen was anywhere near $4 million. Our South Africa Bureau Chief Betty Dibe joins us now for more on this story. Hello, Betty. How are South Africans reacting to this? The president having to defend his integrity amid bribery accusations.
Layo, thank you. A lot of people are a bit worried. Initially, the first reaction of the people was, why now? You know, this is ahead of the ANC Congress, which is coming up later in the year. So you have a lot of ups and downs, a lot of backstabbing, mudslinging, and the like. So news was expected, things like this was expected. But now it's gone beyond why now? They're looking further to see, was any crime committed? Has the president fallen short integrity-wise regarding this? Because this happened in 2020 when he was already president. The affidavit of the former spy boss, Arthur Fraser, said a domestic servant saw about, large sums of US dollars stuffed inside the furniture in a private farm of the president. So now people are bringing out popcorn and drinks to find out what exactly is going on and looking to the president to respond. So far, I don't think people are quite satisfied with what he said. He had an opportunity again. We've received statements from the presidency denying, talking about the amount not being quite 4 million, as has been stated, being much less. We don't have the amount, and so many other things without exactly answering the questions or giving answers that people are expecting. He had another chance in Limpopo at the weekend when one of the ANC events, and what he kept saying was, I've never stolen public funds. I never will. I don't intend to. But that is not the question. The question that people want to answer is, or the part of the questions is did the president contravene any of the laws, like the Prevention of Organized Crime Act 121 of 1998?
Well, also, what is the updates, Betty, on the presidential police investigation? We know a probe is underway concerning the money, stolen from the president's farm.
Well, as far as the investigations are going on, we hear investigations are to go on. We hear investigations have been going on. We don't really know what is what because we didn't get those answers from the police minister, Becky Cele, during that Crime Stats briefing on Friday. The National Police Commissioner was present at the event as well, and he didn't say much. And he said, if investigations are going on, they're not expected to just put it out there right now. So we will believe them at this point and wait to see what will happen. But people are really watching out for answers to know why about 4 million allegedly was stuffed in furniture at the president's private farm. Because in his defense, he was saying, defending himself, he was saying everyone knows he's a farmer and he sells game, and some international buyers come. Buyers and sellers come and patronize him, including local buyers as well. But why that amount of money? Was it declared to the Revenue Service? Was it not? A lot of questions are still waiting to be answered.
All right then, South Africa Bureau Chief Betty Dibe. Ethiopia's central bank has warned against trade in cryptocurrencies in the country. On Monday, the National Bank of Ethiopia issued a statement saying the use of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin was becoming prevalent despite being against the law. It said this was creating favorably conditions for hiding illicit funds. However, the bank has vowed to take measures against those using the currencies. Well, many Congolese people are hoping for an apology when Belgium's King Felipe and Queen Mathilde visit the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's the first visit of a Belgian royal couple in 12 years. The royal couple will begin their visit on Tuesday, June 7th. In the capital, Kinshasa, people in the streets say the visit will distract people's attention from the problems faced by the country. The colonial past that links the two countries have not yet been forgotten. On the 30th of June 2020, for the 60th anniversary of Congo independence, King Felipe expressed deep regret for the suffering and humiliation inflicted on the DRC during its 75 years under Belgian rule. The president of Egypt has promised to provide 30 million doses of coronavirus vaccines to African countries in coordination with the African Union. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi made the announcement at the first Pan-African Health Conference, which is being held in the capital of Egypt, Cairo. Around 400 health officials, along with medical companies working in more than 100 countries, are attending the event. And that's it on the program for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.